guys, and welcome back to my channel. You see the title? We're talking about something new. Well, we're not talking about something new, but we're starting something new. If you guys want to know what I'm talking about, let's go. All right, so y'all know everywhere you turn nowadays, you're seeing the topic of recession. Everyone's talking about what they're going to do with the recession when it comes to, necessities like food. But when it comes to things that are not necessities, especially self-care, maintenance, the girl is talking about, listen, I'm gonna learn how to do it myself, okay? Hair, makeup, nails, and I feel like it's been that way for like the last year or two, really after COVID, but especially right now. So I was thinking, like, let's go back to the basics here on this channel and start a series where we just talk about different topics. If you want to know more about being transfer proof, being sweat proof, picking foundation, stuff like that. So let me know in the comments down below. But today we are starting with skin prep because that's really important. That's really the base. What you are putting the makeup on is probably more important, or just as much as knowing how to put the rest on correctly. So this is my face bare, straight out the shower, a little jump scare-ish. I'm not going to show you, just look how ashy it is a little bit. When I say skin prep, I'm talking about skin care. Let's start there. I'm going to use this Abaji Medical. I just got this in PR a couple days ago. Daily Hydro Drops formulated with vitamin B3 and hibiscus oil. And this is what I've been using as a serum. Now it does have a little fragrance in it, so I am watching out for this one because I have sensitive skin and it doesn't take much to break me out. Also, if you've noticed, yes, I already filled in my eyebrows and used concealer. I like doing that before I do this because when I put it above my eyebrows, I feel like that kind of helps blend in the concealer so that, you don't have the lined out, very noticeable concealer brows. Next up, this combination right here. I've had my makeup done by a couple professional makeup artists and their styles vary, right? I've had the more so dramatic, I've had the minimalistic, and all of that in between. But what they all agree on is when it comes to skin prep, hydration, because I'm going to talk about primer. And again, that is either you want to use it and your makeup's fine, or you don't want to use it and your makeup can still be fine, but they agree on hydration, baby. When I tell you, if you're looking for products that are going to hydrate and look very good under makeup, this is the Belief True Cream Aqua Balm and then the Belief Aqua Balm Eye Gel. Baby, one of my press-ons popped off, so that's what I'm using, because longer nails sometimes be poking me. I gotta get used to it if I go from short nails back to longer nails, but I'm sure you guys have heard, if someone has oily skin, that they really want to focus on hydrating their skin, because a lot of the times when you see someone who has dry skin and they're like, what am I doing wrong with my makeup? Like, the first thing that you can notice is that their face looks dry. And maybe, they're using a primer that's not meant for their skin type, or they just didn't prep their skin. So especially if you have dry skin, you want to make sure you overly hydrate your skin, right? Ain't no thing is too much hydration when you have a dry skin. However, I think when you have oily skin, people think, or people kind of shy away from hydration or things that they think might make them look dewy because, thought process, well, if my skin already gets shiny, why would I start out with a base that is shiny? We've talked about this before, how when you have oily skin, if you try to focus on taking the shine away and taking the oil away, sometimes you strip your skin so much that it becomes dry. And well, now if your skin is dry, just like dry skin, that's why makeup starts looking crazy on your face. And sometimes, again, if you have oily skin, if you strip it too much, now your skin is working double time to make up for the hydration and the lack of oil and everything that it has on its face. So it actually starts producing more oil. So it's also a balance that you got to find out. But I don't oily skin I like my skin looking a little dewy. I feel like it kind of makes your skin look more skin-like-ish since you're putting on, layers of makeup. You know, really make sure you get all up in there. And now, baby, don't get it twisted. Sometimes I absolutely positively skip this step, and I feel like you can tell. You can tell when I skip it. I try not to, but everyone has those days, and it's okay to have those days. The eye cream comes with that type of applicator. I know some people keep their eye creams like in the fridge just so that it's really cool, but like this is cool to the touch. Like, right, this is just stored in my bathroom and it's still cooling to the touch. And then take that all around my eye. And then sunscreen. This is from Glow Recipe. It is their Watermelon Glow Dew Balm SPF 45. And I like this one because with the balm consistency of it, you know, you can put on more and it's clear, so you're not going to see it on the face. The consistency still works under makeup. Smells good. And I know I just got done saying the other thing had fragrance in it, but like the other one was like a perfume type fragrance. I haven't had any issue with Glow Recipes products breaking me out, so. And then, you know, spread that out too. And then lips, I'm gonna use this Pharmacy lip smoothie in honey vanilla. This smells so good, so good. I actually need a fragrance with this scent. Pharmacy, if you're looking to get into fragrances, let this be your first scent. Okay, so moving on to primers. That's one, like I said, it just really comes down to how you prefer to do your makeup. If you're getting your makeup done by an artist and whether or not they use it just boils down to the artist. And I go back and forth on if I like using a primer. Y'all just saw me go to the makeup class with King Molly and she mentioned how she doesn't really care for primers and she feels like if you just do really good on skin prep, that's really the basis of priming your skin. And when you look at a lot of primers, a lot of them do kind of lean towards skincare anyway, so you might as well just use your moisturizer. Sometimes they sell, you know, moisturizer where like 2-in-1 and can work really well with your makeup. So I'm gonna do one side with primer, one side without primer, but let's get into primers if you want to use primer, because that's also going into your skin prep. First, we got to know different types of primers. There are water-based primers, there are silicone-based primers. That and your skin type, the type of foundation that you're putting, or the makeup that you'll be putting on top of that will it don't matter. Again, it varies. So that's why it's like what works for some person might not work for you. Then there's the purpose of the primer, right? I think when people hear primer, they just think face primer, you know, Milk Hydro Grip. That was the first one that came to my mind. But there is also eye primer, there is eyelash primer, there's concealer primer, there is lip primer. And that's why people start thinking that primer is a scam and it's just a way for brands to get money out of you, because can you do makeup and not use any of that and it looks fine? Yes. Do I feel like there are some primers that I have tried that it's not a necessity, you don't need it to do your makeup, but it's gonna get the job done. Y'all know I don't really wear eyeshadow like that, and when I do, I don't use you know, like an Urban Decay eyeshadow primer. They do sell products like specific eye primers, but a lot of people just use concealer. So when I do use eyeshadow, I just use concealer. Before I get into face primer, baby, let me tell you, I actually do use eyelash primer. I put on primer before I put on mascara, because y'all know, like, I don't really have eyelash. Well, I do, of course, but they're not, you know, the like long, thick, just, yes. Absolutely. We can't all be Jackie Aina when it comes to eyelashes. So I have found that the days, and again, because I'll be lazy, so I don't do it every single time, but the days where I use lash primer, this is from Lancome. It is their CILS Booster XL. I just feel like my bottom lashes are, and sometimes if I don't wear lashes, I'll put it on my top lashes as well. I just feel like the mascara looks better on my bottom lashes, and I feel like it's not as messy, it's not as transferable, so I actually do use lash primer. I have tried concealer primer. I have one from Milk Makeup. I don't use it often. Lip primer, no. No, that's one of those like you just hydrate your lips before you start your makeup and you should be fine by the time you get there. Now let's get to face primer. Now when brands are coming out with primers, these are some of the main concerns that primers usually help when it comes to doing your makeup. Mattifying, again, if you have oily skin, you might pick up a mattifying primer because you're just starting the base off with something that is not as shiny, not as oily. There is illuminating. You know, if you have dry skin, maybe you want to start off with something that's a little bit more dewy, something that's going to give you more of a glow base. Now, of course, if you have oily skin, can you use an illuminating primer? Maybe you want to glow even more. Maybe you want it to look skin-like even more, right? But they'll tell you things like, you know, if you have oily skin, use a powder foundation, stuff like that. So that's why I'm correlating it the way that I'm correlating it. Some other concerns or reasons. Some other concerns or types of primers are blurring primers. I feel like those are the ones that are usually more silicone-based primers. And then there are hydrating primers, you know, again, a little more along the lines of illuminating primers, but like illuminating primers are also more like glow, like highlighter, but liquid in a primer. I think Charlotte Tilbury has one like that. The brand that Samantha Ravindell, Auric, her beauty brand, they also have a product like that. So that's more so like highlighter type illuminating, whereas hydrating, again, usually more skincare like and just hydrating to the face. Now for the most part, I would say natural skin, dry skin, oily skin, combination skin, you can typically get away with any of those primers except dry skin and mattifying primers. Listen, I'm just saying, typically, like the typical dry skin makeup wear, they stay very far away from mattifying primers. Have I seen dry skin that still uses mattifying primers? I have, because maybe you have dry skin, maybe you sweat. So, you know, maybe you're thinking you'll use the mattifying for sweating or however, most times when you see someone who has dry skin use a mattifying primer, they're not going to like it. Think back to when like Fenty first launched for the first time and people who had dry skin were trying the primer and they're like, I don't like it. It makes my skin look dry. Yeah, because you have dry skin. And it's a matte primer and it's matte. It's matte. But maybe you are dry skin that likes a matte face. That is actually an aesthetic of makeup that people go for. I don't remember what they call it, but like basically it's like you're intentionally trying to look what's the word? Dead? Not dead. Like pale? No. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But you know, oily skin, yes, you can use an illuminating primer. Normal skin, yes, you can use a mattifying primer, an illuminating primer, a hydrating primer. Now, when it comes to blurring primers, you know, people like them because, you know, you kind of want that blurred effect, you know, that Facetune effect on your face. Most people like a whole, you know, a smooth look to their makeup, kind of hide the imperfections. Now, you know, we need to tread lightly on reality. Like your skin's still gonna look like skin, right? There's only so much that makeup can do, especially like seeing makeup in real life, right? But another reason that a lot of people don't like blurring primers is because those are ones that more so tend to clog your pores. And don't nobody want that. Personally, I stick to primers that are a little bit more along the lines of skincare, where, you know, they're just like hydrating, they make you glow a little bit more. If I am gonna use a mattifying primer, I will use one that is more so soft matte, because I'll need you to do the most, okay? I'll figure that out elsewhere when it comes to powder and setting spray, stuff like that. And today, I'm going to be using the Makeup Forever Hydra Booster Step 1 Primer. Perfecting and Softening Base, and I'm only going to use that on one side of my face. So just going to put that out there. But y'all know the Danessa Yummy Skin is a holy grail primer for me. That one, I feel like for myself, does a little bit more of the like blurring effect to my makeup, while also, you know, making sure like it's oil control and whatnot throughout the day. That is magic in that primer. Well, it's technically a foundation, but the universal shade that I use as a primer, there's magic in that. I'm just gonna blend that out on this side of my face, and I make sure I get under my eye as well, because I do have drier under eyes, and you know, I'll be packing on the concealer, so make sure that is hydrated, which is also why I like that balm for my eyes. Okay, so that is it on my face. Y'all let me know. I feel like, yes, that side of my face looks a little dewier, but I'm gonna go ahead and do my makeup, and then when I come back at the end of the video, y'all let me know if you think you can see a difference using primer and not using primer. Oh, and also like make sure the stuff is drying on your face, like before you move on to the next step. Especially, I know it doesn't really have anything to do with the video, but like brow gel, I guess that's kind, well, it's not primer. I feel like I kind of use it as primer because I put that on first before I fill in my brows, just to, you know, I kind of have a outline of how I'm filling them in, and because like the hair is standing up. But make sure you let your brow gel dry before you put any product in it. And there are people who put on brow gel after they do their brows, but if you put it on first, let it dry. And yeah, that is it for my face. So primer side, no primer side, y'all let me know. I don't feel like you can really tell a difference if one side looks than the other. However, I will give it a little time, come back a little later and see how the wear is with primer versus no primer. So yeah, I will see you guys later. Okay, y'all, so it is 5:11. This is my face looks like. So primer side, no primer side. As you can see, I already started. Y'all already know what it is over here. As soon as I stop recording, that would come right on off. I almost took the lashes off there. I remember I was supposed to do this. So this is what it looks like. Am I bugging, or does it look like no primer side is holding up just a teeny? Like I feel like I look a little oily right here on the primer side. However, I also feel like maybe I'm looking for a difference, like I'm looking too hard, and like, you know, if you just look at it, like you don't really see a difference between either side of my face, which I think goes to the whole argument of as long as you prime or prep your skin correctly. If you need primer, it really just comes down to preference. Like it's not like an absolute must, you have to, or your face is going to look crazy. And again, also comes down to like the other products. Like, yeah, you can kind of probably skip primer because you use a powder that works for you, a setting spray that works for you. I had that YSL powder on, and I don't remember if it said it's supposed to be mattifying, but I feel like it is. So I feel like the other stuff that I used is kind of doing the work, where it's like with primer, you can kind of get away without using it, and you can use it and still have the same effect as if you didn't use it. So y'all let me know. But yeah, it is 6 hours later, and this is what my face looks like. It was raining today. Another reason why I wasn't going outside in no 38-inch wig in the rain. So yeah, let me know what your argument is on primer versus no primer. But either way, before primer, if you're gonna put it on, make sure you prep your skin. So that is it for this video, y'all. That is my first. Let's get into the basics. Let's go back to the basics of makeup. So let me know what you guys would want to be the next makeup 101. Make sure to thumbs up, comment, subscribe, turn notification bells down below. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.